Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Princeton, where in our open and welcoming community, we live our message of hope, love, justice, and joy. We extend a special welcome to our visitors this morning. We're really happy that you've joined us, and we invite you to stop by our newcomer table after the service, if you haven't already, so that we can put you on our e-lists and invite you to all the different programs and events that we have happening in our congregation. Happenings in the back of your order of service has announcements about many of those upcoming events, including that our Zen meditation and practice group will meet next Sunday after worship in Foz Theater. It's perfect for beginning and experienced meditators. The group is very friendly and they welcome you to give it a try next Sunday or on the fourth Sunday of any month, which is when they gather. And a big reminder that our end of year picnic will be June 2nd after the service, rain or shine. That's a really big Sunday for us here at UU Princeton. We have our annual flower celebration during the service, our annual meeting immediately following the service, and our picnic after that. It's also the Sunday that Reverend Jennifer returns from her sabbatical, so we'll be able to welcome her back to the congregation. Yes. For that picnic, we invite you to keep your eyes open for an email from us with an RSVP link that helps us know how much food to buy. And if you can, we'd love for you to sign up to bring a side or a dessert to that picnic. Friends, we are in wonderful hands this morning. This service is led by our coming of age class and their advisors and their mentors. It's one of the best services that we have all year, and we're very, very grateful to our whole class, to the advisors, to the parents, and the mentors for leading the service this morning. I don't want to say more about it because I know that's part of the service, but thank you all so much for leading us in worship this morning. And now let us be together for this hour to remember peace, to praise the good, to care for one another, and to grow in love. Come, let us worship together.
Our chalice lighting today is a quote by Taylor Swift. I want to be defined by the things I love, not the things I hate, not the things I'm afraid of that haunt me in the middle of the night. I just think that you are what you love.
We hold in our hearts the third member of our leading team, Farouk Sama, whose father died earlier this week. He's in India with his family. Our tradition does not ask anyone to kneel or prostrate themselves in prayer. Some of our congregations have no prayers at all. However, I believe we pray all the time. The candles that have been lit and the stones dropped in the weeping bowls are prayers. Many years ago, I learned a simple system of prayer consisting of 5 words that we say easily and often. Thanks, please, sorry, hope, and wow. Thanks for all the benefits, love, and joy in our lives. Please for our wishes that we, others in our family, could be better. Sorry, our regrets over mistakes and our hurt of others. Hope for ways that family, community, and the world we live in could be better. And wow, for the wonders of beauty and joy that we experience. I invite you into the spirit of prayer. In gratitude, in anticipation, in regret, in hope, and wow. In this sacred space, may our prayers be strengthened by the gathered community. Amen.
Good morning. I'm honored and privileged to have had the opportunity over the past several months to get to know Max Klon. Through many discussions and events on this year's coming of age journey, we have participated in and shared our thoughts while working on exercises exploring individual and group beliefs, religion, spirituality, community, and belonging. I have learned from Max's insights of the world around us, from broad and complex thinking to the simple elegance and beauty of a treadle-powered sewing machine and the movement of the trees. We covered nuanced and challenging questions in ways and on topics which elude tangible answers. We also discovered common interests, like comparing the similarities and differences and the intertwined stories between the two British car shows, Top Gear and Grand Tour. I've learned many things about Max in our conversations. He is bright, curious, deliberate in his words and actions, thoughtful, caring, and understanding. I am curious and eager to hear more and learn more from Max. Max?
My beliefs are uncertain. I more so have a series of superstitions rather than beliefs. Superstitions that are being replaced with things like the belief that there are souls. Among all the families in the world, at least one astronomically high thing will happen to at least one person. Be that the dates of things lining up, or an unexpected, or an unexplained figure appearing in a photo. Even then, some things may be unexplained, like why my love for vehicles started at least as far back as when I was not even 1 year old. Possibly even further. This, of course, one could say is probability. After all, millions of boys are born each year, and of course at least one somewhere would do this. But one could also say this was caused by fate. Each day, what you do, what you touch or move, will probably never happen again in quite the same way. There are, of course, reasons for this, but the order in which you do them may be out of your control, causing you to either discover something new or help someone else discover something new. Ultimately, here one could say that the probability of this happening is likely. Especially when there are millions of objects and millions of people over millions of years. But what probability cannot yet at least explain is why. Why, out of all of those people, did it happen to this particular one? Sure, it's possible for it to happen, but why did these events cause this to happen? Science can explain it, yes, but somehow it's not satisfying enough to state the facts of these actions. This has led me down the path of souls and fate. What if our personality is a soul and is in communication with other souls, including the one that has the big responsibility of providing suggestions to other souls? What if instead of one higher power directing things, there is just a community of souls that are cycled through bodies, space, and time? I have no other real beliefs than this one. However, I have noticed a part of most religions is a series of superstitions saying that if you don't pray daily or have an interest in something the religion is against, like the outside world in the case of cult-like or straight cult religions, you will go and be punished indefinitely. As a result, I find this restrictive and want to leave it behind. I want to leave all forms of religion behind. Well, yes, they can oftentimes be the one constant in people's lives. I find that it is far more trouble than it is worth. Ever since I started finding out that the religion I originally believed in was built up on a book that has hundreds of contradictions, was written over hundreds of years by hundreds of people, I have wanted to move away from it. Most recently, I've also learned that some of the stories in it aren't even true. All of this has made me want to move away from religion and be free from it, especially because just before and even after the COVID-19 pandemic, I became so incredibly devout in my beliefs that I prayed every single time I had an intrusive thought. My beliefs changed gradually, however, as the subject I as the object I thought you were supposed to treat like gold leaf, I am now treating like any other book. Something that is more interesting not for its religious significance, but rather its significance as a picture in a time and in a place far away of what the people of that time and place were thinking.
Good morning. So I have had the very great pleasure and joy of knowing Rachel from the time that she came to UU Princeton. And I've been able to spend some time with her over the years as she's grown into a very, very special, loving, and caring person that she is today. Rachel and I share a very great love for reading and for live theater on both sides of the footlights. You've already seen her play her flute, and now you're going to hear her writing. It is my great, great pleasure to introduce Rachel Neely.
When I was in preschool, my best friend was someone named Saxon. We've known each other for as long as I can remember, so many memories of my early childhood contain moments with him. Our moms were friends, which meant that we hung out frequently. One of our favorite spots was at a playground in Hopewell, where he lived. The playground was giant, at least to a kid's eyes, and the castle-like structure made it seem magical. The most important part of the playground, however, was the forest surrounding it. One time while we were at the playground, we decided to explore the woods. Saxon, our parents, and I walked through a trail until we found a small creek with crystal clear water. While we were there, Saxon got the idea of making clay out of the reddish mud lining the walls of the creek. I adored anything artistic back then, and I was delighted by the idea. We gathered as much of the clay as we could and sculpted it into different statues and shapes. When it was time to go home, I took some of the clay in a Ziploc bag to use. Later that day, I remember taking a small purple bead and making a sphere with the clay, the bead trapped in the center. I still have it stored somewhere in my room. As simple as that memory was, it's had a huge impact on my beliefs since then. Exploring nature with a childhood friend has taught me the importance of going into nature. As far ago as it was, I still remember the joy that came from simply finding clay by a river. It helped me become more aware of the smaller details in nature and the small miracles in every plant and rock. To this day, I can't go to a forest without remembering Saxon and our adventures together. Another thing I learned from this moment was how any moment can become memorable. My preschool self didn't know that that memory would stick with me for so long. Despite that, I look back on it with fondness for the unexpected adventures we had. Any moment can be special, so it's important to treasure the present as we're living in it. You never know when the memory you're making right now will be something you look back on a decade later. No matter how much time has passed since my preschool years, I will always appreciate my friendship with Saxon. The memories we have made have taught me lessons I will use for the rest of my life.
Ian, you want to come up to the side there? So it's been a real pleasure getting to know Ian and to introduce him today, and also getting to know his family. We've got his mom and dad, we've got Michael and Deanna, and even some grandparents. I think we have Judy, Sam, and Joanne, so welcome. Ian is a deep thinker with lots of intellectual curiosity, imagination, and a rich love of magic, mystery, and music. So he really enjoyed the neighboring faiths class last year, and that spurred all sorts of really interesting discussions about religion that we had at the Murray Grove retreat. Earlier in today's service, you saw Ian read the Wonder and Wisdom story, The Instructions by Neil Gaiman. That was his choice of book. very consistent with his love of adventurous, magical, mysterious tales. He was also considering, I believe, his favorite poem, which was Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, but then he decided it wasn't quite appropriate for the Wonder and Wisdom story today. Ian is the dungeon master for his Dungeons and Dragons group. He's also a talented bass guitar player and pianist. In fact, later tonight, if you so choose, you could go and see him at the School of Rock's highly nostalgic Best of the 2010s concert. Wow, I'm feeling really old today. And he'll be playing Apocalypse Dreams by Tame Impala. Ian, we're really excited to hear your credo.
This is gonna be great. I trust me. My religious journey has been pretty lackluster ever since I was little, or sort of little. I don't know, not really. I've depended on my instincts, mostly bad. Religion never really caught on. I just can't fathom a higher power. I've lived my life based on science, sorta-ish. I appreciate the relationships formed by religious activities and enjoy learning how to communicate with people more religiously active. My main issue wasn't a distaste for religion, but more a mental block from spirituality. I've always wanted a crutch to keep me from dreading the future. I aim to use my experience at UU to form healthy, long-lasting relationships with people both in and out of congregation. I'm just a semi kind of intelligent kid looking for something to help me. I have great parents who support me and my friends. Oh, wait. I have great parents who support me and friends who can lift me up. I strive to be a more mature and put together person. I look up to the older people in my church for guidance and hope that hope that becoming one of these people is as fulfilling as wished. I love teaching. It is one of the things that brings me unbridled joy, as well as things like camping and listening to music. I look forward to further experiences with UUCP and many adventures of my slightly more mature life.
Wow. That was amazing. And it's my pleasure to introduce Max Rubenstein. And I remember the first time we met, he was telling me how he enjoys playing drums. And so I'm glad we got to hear that today. And then through the curriculum, we've had a number of chances to talk about beliefs and share our thoughts. And so I'll hand it over to you, Max.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Max. I'm a 13-year-old boy who's finishing the 7th grade. I love sports, music, and my family. Sports is always a great outlet for me to have fun. Music can get me through a lot, and my family has helped influence me into who I am today. I play both soccer and basketball, my favorite being soccer because it's the game of our world. The strategy behind the game is something that will take me a long time for me to understand. Even now, though, I still appreciate the game immensely. My favorite team is Liverpool, and I love their slogan, which is "Never walk alone," which is like an important meaning, I think. So, while I was playing, can you? Hello. Okay, there you go. While I was playing the drums earlier, the artist you heard was someone named Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson has helped me through the highs and the lows. His music influences me in a positive way because he projects bright messages that must be heard. To me, the lyrics we heard from the song Upside Down mean that we must find solutions to things like war, racial injustice, and any form of hate. A quote from the song is, "I want to turn the whole thing upside down. I'll find the things they say just can't be found. I'll share this love I found with everyone." To go into that, I believe God that we believe in, that I believe in, is love, whatever it may be. Certain people have trouble believing in religion because of devastating world problems. When I see these problems in the news, I feel discouraged as well, but I believe God is love. Love exists despite these problems. It never judges. Love is something that can't be debated. It's universal. I like the fact that everyone from UU is entitled to their own opinion, meaning that people will not judge you. While studying certain religions, I have learned that some can be more restrictive in their beliefs. I do believe in some of the core beliefs in these religions from Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. I believe that there are prophets who speak from the ideas of the divine, and that people in our world today project the same messages that those prophets did. I like how at UU I can believe this without judgment and continue to find other beliefs as time goes on. To me, faith represents community and the belief that there's something bigger than the human race. Faith is how you act and the way you project yourself in the world. Faith can help everyone during tough times in our lives. Faith is constantly something we can believe in, and we can always find someone to represent the faith in our world. That is faith in my eyes. Faith, love, and community can help change our world.
Good morning. My name is Jason McSheen. I have the privilege of introducing Akash Hardaway. First off, I think a lot of people get to see him as a student and an athlete. I was lucky enough to have a couple of conversations with him. And I just want to talk about a couple of things that struck me. So we had a great conversation at the retreat. It was very windy out. There were plates flying, but everyone was safe. And I just want to talk about what struck me the most, and it was about how genuinely kind he is. He's careful and thoughtful and deep. When we were having our conversations, you can really see him just thinking about himself and his placement in whichever situation he was in, and he was really caring about others, especially his family, which I see some out in the crowd because I see his face and I see their faces too, so I can tell. His brothers, his parents, and really we talked about a lot about navigating the spaces we find ourselves in. And we connected on the fact that we come from multiracial backgrounds. And I think that was, and really how that can kind of play into how it influences our beliefs and our actions and our spirituality. So it's not easy to completely be yourself when you're learning who that self is. And I think Akash is doing it with grace, and I'm really excited to hear about what he has to say today. So let's welcome Akash and hear his credo.
I have grown up attending UU churches in the Murray Grove camps. The UU values are a big part of the decision making in my household, and it has rubbed off on me. I find myself thinking about whether my actions will have positive impacts even while I play baseball. Baseball has been the most significant part of my life since I turned 5. My brothers played baseball 4 and 6 years ahead of me. Each weekend I was at the baseball field watching either of my brothers play. I found myself wanting to be like them, dress like them, style my hair like them, and most importantly, play baseball as they could. They have both been the most significant role models throughout my life. Mahan has shown me no matter the situation, we are able to push through them. Ishan has shown me to be myself and be a better version of myself. These past couple of Hello? Okay. These past couple of years have made me feel like most people in the world are bad and are there to make your life worse. Every first week of my school, it was always emphasized that school is a safe place for each student with every teacher there to help you. This for me, though, was not true. I was the only African American boy in my grade until the 6th grade, which led me to be mistreated by those very own teachers who told me they were only there to help. Throughout these rough patches at school, Mahan was there showing me to persevere as he knew I was strong enough to get through them. Ishan was always right there reminding me that no matter how others treated me, I am unique and I should embrace that. My family has been able to show me that looking for hate in the world only lets me see hate. When I'm able to look past the hard times and struggles, it allows me to see a beautiful world with people who only want to make things easier. There's one thing I figured out in this whole thing we call life, and that is loved ones are the ones we can look to support us, the ones that will help create a better versions of ourselves. My family continues to give me better perspective on the world and continues every day to make me a better person. I have learned to empathize with others no matter their situation because being there for others opens doors for them to be there for me. Every day I encounter situations where I must think before my actions because of the values I've been given, which makes these decisions easier for me each time. Soon I will grow to be able to make these decisions for the greater good without thinking.
Hi, my name is Pat Radke. I've had the pleasure of knowing Nicole since she was just a few weeks old and having been part of her life ever since. I've watched her grow up. I've watched her talents develop. I've watched her face adversity and overcome it. And it has been quite a ride, and we will continue on it. Nicole.
In our religion, I like how you aren't forced to believe or do anything. And that we all can believe in different things, like where we go after we die, but we're still one congregation in the end. I like how we can speak our minds, and I like how we're not a controlling religion. I think religion is a really important piece of your life, and I think it's healthy to know what your religion is, even if you don't feel completely connected with it. I believe that God likes everyone the same. I believe that God doesn't take people's lives away. After my dad passed away a couple months ago, I was very angry with God in the world and kept wondering why me. I realized that people die because of their actions, wrong place, wrong time, and maybe just bad luck. But I don't believe that God did this to us. Yes, people's lives get cut short, but I don't believe it's God's fault. I also believe when people die, they do give us signs from their loved ones. The clock reading 11:11 was me and my dad's thing, and now I see it randomly, and I'm sure it's him telling me to not give up.
Clearly, I am not Kirsten. She not only helped lead this class, but she's the teacher of her daughter's dance program, which was supposed to be at 3 o'clock this afternoon, but they moved it to noon, so she had to go. So I'm giving you love from Kirsten. Lily joined us only a month or so ago and has dived right into the program, came on our retreat, and has been a full member of this whole group. And it's been an absolute delight to get to know Lily. And we look forward to hearing what she has to say. It could be near them.
Hi, I'm sorry if this is choppy because it is. So my beliefs are pretty jumbled and not really specific to any one religion, so I guess that just makes it all my own. I think there's gotta be a higher power, whether that be God or the Big Bang Theory, I can't say. You could say that I imagine a heaven and hell, where heaven is kind of like earth in the sense that there is a balance. Heaven would be filled with all kinds of people, including people who came up from hell, which I will get into, and just generally good people. Those generally good people could be waiting to be reincarnated. I suppose that reincarnation is there for a second chance at life. And that hell is a time loop of what happened to get you there until you learn to forgive yourself for what happened, and only then can you go to heaven. The abhorrent, remorseless people of the world would just stay there indefinitely. I think that ghosts could exist, most likely in the form of family to watch over you. And that's it. Thank you.
Now that we've heard from all of our coming of agers, it's our turn to give them gifts. And so one by one, their mentors will bring them forward to give them a gift and to have Bill welcome them into the community. So.
the end of our hour, we extinguish our chalice, knowing that its light carries us until we gather again.
All right, go forth grateful for the moments before you, the breath within you, the people among you, and the Spirit guiding you toward lives of greater love, beauty, and kindness, and go forth knowing that you are held always and always with neighbor and stranger by that great love of no beginning and never ending. Go in peace, and amen.